Getting cloud security right is crucial, and yet it can prove to be a whale of a challenge even for experienced teams. To paraphrase an old saying, the best way to eat a whale is one bite at a time. So today we're kicking off a series on cloud security with tfsec. It's a static analysis security scanner tool for Terraform. Enough intro, let's dive in. We're going to cover 5 different ways to integrate tfsec into any Terraform or Terragrunt project, and we'll kick things off on the command line to demonstrate right up front the value that this awesome tool brings to the table. So we have here an AWS S3 bucket module, which besides the bucket resource itself, contains all of the various resources that can go into configuring a bucket. And we can scan all of these resources and their respective arguments with the tfsec command. Okay, no issues, fantastic. Now let's see what happens when we try to introduce a security flaw. We'll comment out this block down here, which configures server-side encryption for the bucket. Okay, and back on the command line, we'll rerun the command. And bingo, we have 2 problems that popped up here. 2 potentially high severity problems, and just take a look at the tremendous amount of detail that we get here for each issue in the console. We have the file name and the line numbers where it occurred, and a printout of the problematic block, exactly where we need to go to fix it. But perhaps most valuable of all, we have links to documentation which specifies why this is a potential problem, and better yet, exactly how we can fix it. Before clicking this though, I do want to show you one more quick feature. For those familiar with the AWS CIS benchmark, thinking to themselves, hold on a minute, the security standard only specifies that encryption be in place, but tfsec is also flagging the use of an AWS managed key here. For situations like that, let's say, for example, maybe we know ahead of time that this module will only be used for access logging buckets or whatever the case may be where we need to override a tfsec finding, we can simply disable the rule with an ignore directive. And we'll grab the name of the rule that we want to ignore. Rerun the command. And bingo, it's gone. Now let's check out the documentation provided to us by Aqua Security, the makers of tfsec. Shout out to those fine folks. So we'll click the link here right in the console, and let me bring you guys with me over to Chrome. And here we have on the rule documentation page, we have a straightforward explanation as to why this is an issue, as well as examples showing how to address the problem. And obviously, we just commented out the SSE block. The solution is to put the SSE block back in. No surprises there. Over on the side here, we can see the list of resources and various platforms and providers covered by tfsec's built-in rules, including AWS, Azure, Google Cloud Platform, Kubernetes, as well as some smaller providers like DigitalOcean, and even some you might not expect, like GitHub, which, quick side note, if you aren't yet managing your GitHub repos with a GitHub repo, I highly recommend trying out the GitHub provider. It'll totally change the way you manage projects, repos, GPG keys, the works. Now, if this long list of security rules doesn't quite meet your needs, we also have the ability to make our own custom rules, which we'll get to in a moment. But first, let's take a look at installation. As you can see, we have a few different package managers to choose from here, or you can always use the go install command down here. And speaking of Golang, if you, like a lot of devs, have been meaning to learn more about Golang, I have an upcoming video on Golang modules, so be sure to hit that subscribe button to check that out when it drops. Now, of course, installing an executable like this on your local machine won't be an ideal scenario for everyone. And the good news there is that the fine folks at Aqua Security have also provided us with a plug-and-play executable Docker image, which really opens up a lot of options in regard to how we can use tfsec at various points in our CI/CD pipelines. Back to VS Code, and make sure your Docker daemon is up and running if you'd like to follow along at home. And we can run tfsec via Docker. Let's clear the console. We can run it via Docker like so. Okay, so we have the aquasec tfsec image. We're going to run it and remove the container upon completion. We're going to run it interactively with a pseudo terminal so we get all of the output right here in our console. And we're going to bind mount the present working directory, which is our module, AWS S3 module directory here, into the container's source directory, and that's getting passed to the image's entry point. And we can verify that, we can confirm that by inspecting the image if we'd like. And there you go. It's the exact same tfsec executable. So back over here to our Docker run. And bingo bango. Here we see we have the same, all the information that we have from the first executable we have here without having to modify our local execution environment. Another great option for placement within a CI/CD pipeline, and one that I personally use on every Terraform module, is the tfsec pre-commit hook. Now, if you're not familiar with pre-commit, I'll leave a link down in the description, but this option is absolutely fantastic for preventing errors from ever even entering the pipeline in the first place. So in our module directory here, let's try to commit this bad bucket and see what happens. And there we go. We literally are not able to commit code that introduces this security flaw into our pipeline, which is just an absolutely fantastic feature. Now, as I mentioned earlier, we can also create our own custom rules. In this repo, for example, since it includes modules for ECS services, I wanted to implement a custom rule that checks user data scripts for commands that can cause instance launch failure. To make custom rules, all you need is this directory called .tfsec, and include in the directory JSON or YAML files ending in this underscore tfchecks suffix, like this. And the syntax that's available to us is quite flexible. Now, I don't want to go into too much detail about the specifics of the syntax. Perhaps we'll cover that in a follow-up video. But I do want to note that for each custom rule, you can provide useful text and links for tfsec to show in the console. So anyone who violates this rule will have information that's just as comprehensive and just as helpful as the info tfsec provides for its built-in rules. But Trevor, you ask, how can I validate the syntax of my custom rules? Well, I'm super glad you asked. For that, the fine folks at Aqua Security have once again stepped up to provide us with a tool called tfsec-checkgen, say that 10 times fast. And it's super easy to install back on the command line. We have the same go install command that we use to install the tfsec executable, now with this -checkgen suffix at the end here. Hit enter, and we'll let that install. Now, instead of running this manually whenever we add or update a custom rule, because who wants to do that, we can make a quick local pre-commit hook that takes this off our plate. So over in our pre-commit config, down at the bottom, we just add a local repo with a hooks list. You can make the ID, the name, whatever you'd like it to be. Here's the magic though. For the entry into the hook, you're going to pass into bash this string here that simply takes all of the files in that .tfsec directory, passes them to the tfsec-checkgen utility, and bingo bango, it's off your plate. Now, one limitation with custom rules, or really with tfsec in general, is that we cannot validate combinations of resource configs. Using our bucket module as an example, we can't implement logic like if the server-side encryption key is configured as a bucket key, then the key policy's encryption context conditions must point to the bucket and not its objects. Logical conditions like that, which fall more under the umbrella of integration testing, are going to be better handled by something like Terratest and or provider-specific rule mechanisms like AWS config, both of which I'll be covering in depth in an upcoming video. Now, for good measure, we can also run tfsec further upstream with GitHub Actions. We have two ready-made options to choose from. Let me pull you over to Chrome. The first is this action that generates serif reports that will be viewable in the GitHub Security Alerts tab. So that's a really great tool for integrating into the GitHub native security alert system. And the other will add findings, the tfsec output, as comments to offending pull requests. Let me switch you over here. They are both great actions that can be used in combination so that you can get the great developer workflow with the comments and the pull requests with the integration into the GitHub security alerts. Just like the pre-commit hook, both prevent security flaws from being implemented in our infrastructure, which is always a good thing. Last but certainly not least, let's see how we can integrate tfsec into our Terragrunt configs. Back in VS Code, in our root configs Terraform block here, we can simply place tfsec in a before hook. Here, I've implemented tfsec in a simple bash script, which runs both tfsec and tflint. So even if rule violations somehow make it past the pre-commit hook and the GitHub Actions and somehow make their way into our module's main branch, we can still catch them here before they've manifested in our infrastructure. Let's try to apply the changes using the same bucket module from earlier, the one with the bad SSE config. Now, we've had to use the Terragrunt source flag because, as you'll recall from the pre-commit demonstration, we weren't able to commit this code into our GitHub repo, hence the Terragrunt source flag to force it to use that bad code. And as you can see here, bingo, tfsec saves the day once again. Before I go, I have a bonus tfsec usage method to bring our list to a nice round 6. I also want to mention they do have a VS Code extension, which allows you to run tfsec right from within a VS Code view panel, which could be a great option for some folks. And that'll do it. I'm Trevor Anderson from Nerdware. Thank you for watching. And if you liked this video, please be sure to like and subscribe for more coding and cloud development content.